Please don't keep all of your fruit in the same bowl. Hi, I'm Tan the Fruit Nerd. If you've just bought a whole week's worth of fruit, where do you store it when you get home? If you said chuck it all in a fruit bowl, then you're probably not alone. But keeping all your fruit in one bowl isn't the best way to keep fruit fresh. The first problem is temperature. Even though most fruit is stored at room temperature when you buy it, almost all fruits are stored in a fridge like this at 5 degrees. So what's the temperature of your fruit bowl? It's normal to keep fruit in a bowl. Everyone does it, but there's better ways to keep fruit fresh. Well, let's back it up. Where did the fruit bowl even come from? Well, displaying fruit has been a sign of wealth and abundance since the Roman times, but it wasn't until the Renaissance period where putting all the fruits together in a bowl became popular. But fast forward to today, and we're still storing fruit the same way, in a bowl. You see, the problem with keeping fruit on the table is that the fruit in that bowl has competing interests. You see, these grapes prefer a cooler temperature to keep crunchy, whilst those bananas want a warmer temperature so they can ripen and become sweet. So the second competing interest we have in this fruit bowl is ethylene, because there are some fruits like apples and pears which are ethylene producing, and they're affecting other fruits like bananas and avocados which are ethylene sensitive to ripen too quickly. So please keep these fruits apart. If you're married to the idea of a fruit bowl, well, I can't help you. But what I do suggest and what I do at home is I have the fruit plate. So I much prefer a fruit plate over a fruit bowl because often some fruits can get stuck at the bottom and they ripen much quicker, they can go off much quicker, and also they can get squashed much easier. So with the plate, there's much more aeration. I usually only put one fruit per one fruit plate, and that allows each of the fruits to ripen at their own pace and that you can easily manage and control some of the fruits that should be stored at room temperature. You've heard the phrase, one bad apple spoils a bunch, and it's true because a rotten fruit can exude much more ethylene than a regular fruit will, and so all the fruits will ripen too fast. Some fruits keep fresher in the fridge, like grapes, apples, pears, and citrus like oranges and mandarins. So some fruits that should be stored at room temperature are kiwis, bananas, mangoes, apricots, and peaches. So you're probably wondering, how long should I store fruit for? Well, here's my personal guide to the maximum amount of days that I would personally store fruit for. Apples, 2 weeks in the fridge in the crisper. Pears, a week in the fridge. Cherries, nectarines, and plums, 2 to 3 days in the fridge. Grapes, a week in the fridge in the crisper. Oranges in a plastic bag in the fridge for up to 2 weeks. Mandarins in the fridge for a week. Mangoes, 2 to 3 days at room temperature. I'd store bananas for 3 to 5 days at room temperature. But remember, with all fruits, do check up on it every day because fruits are alive. As a fruiterer, I hate food waste, especially if it's preventable. Sure, keeping fruit in a fruit bowl looks beautiful and it can promote eating healthy, but with some of these tips, it'll help you prevent food waste, it'll help keep your fruit fresher for longer, and it'll give you a better eating experience.